thank you all for coming. I'm Rebecca Curry. I'm the Public Services Supervisor here at Special Collections and Archives. I have just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. Restrooms are out by the elevators, and drinking fountains are also by the elevators and at the end of the hall. Everyone will have a maximum 5-minute time slot. If you have less than 5 minutes of material, that's fine. If you have 5 minutes and 10 seconds, we won't drag you away.
About 5 minutes and 33 seconds. So you do the countdown?
That's pushing it. And since we are recording this event and we'll be putting the video on our YouTube page, we are asking everyone to stick to material that's original or in the public domain. So with all that said, I'd like to introduce our featured artist for tonight. She teaches in the Department of English, Modern Languages, and Journalism here at ESU, and also earned her Master's of English here with an emphasis in creative writing. Her poetry has won the K. Alden Green Wyrick and Candace Voices Awards, and she's also a singer-songwriter with 2 CDs of original music. Dream of Blue, released in 2002, and Holding Time, released in 2007. So please welcome Lisa Moritz.
Yeah, and all of our craziness is going to end up on their YouTube channel. I'm just saying.
Yeah!
Bring it. All right. All right. Oh, now you've got me singing "Who Is That Girl?" And that's not what that's not what I'm starting
Now
with.
you're opening it.
Yeah, no. Let me get a drink. So, I'm going to sing a song that I wrote just last year. It's for all of the people who are night owls. How many people here stay up late? Okay, it's for all of us. All of you will understand this if you are a night owl. And if you're like me, you know, the mornings are beautiful too, but there's a different sensibility. Once you're up, there's demands and things that you have to do. But the night, you just feel like if you stay up, all the stuff that you have to do tomorrow really isn't going to come. You can just kind of go on forever. And so that's kind of what inspired this song. It's called Stay.
Yeah!
Woo! All right, now I've got to get "Who Is That Girl" out of my head. When it's twilight and the last light lies gold on the hills, mixed in shadow with sunshine as indigo spills onto the roadside with Venus overhead. It's past time to go home, but you're not done yet. Stay. Stay. The breathing of the evening is steady and slow. Long bows on a cello, vibrating low. It builds up inside you, a song in your throat, a deep piece of music, repeating one note. Stay. Stay. Then it's midnight and you feel like the day's finally yours, and the far light of the starlight calls you outdoors. You stand in the driveway, neighbor windows are dark, and you hold to the beauty stunning and stark. Stay, stay. In the hour, when the hour gets too late to count, and the last late night diner has long since shut down, the streets are all empty, still you press through. There's no sense in sleeping when there's living left to do. Stay, stay. Soon the morning will be forming from a delicate sun that gradually speaks loudly of things to get done. But the night asks no questions, it makes no demands. It's a quiet companion just holding your hand. Stay, stay. Yes, the night's made for dreamers. It shifts and it bends, a pathway, a promise of time without end. Night moves like a lover, wraps its hands round your waist, pulls you close, and then whispers, it's not too late. Stay. All right. Now you got me so confused that I don't know what I'm going to play next. Sorry. We had a conversation before this started about songs the front row wanted to hear. What do you think? All right. Here we know a little joy, and the new version of Reckless. What would you like to hear? I don't know. Am I still limited to 15 minutes?
I mean, I guess we should play by the rules.
We should play by the rules. You want to try the new? You want to hear the new version of Reckless? All right. All right. So this is the world premiere. Take me somewhere where the lights are low, where shadows move all around the room. Take me somewhere where the music plays, I can dance right next to you. Pull me closer, pull me closer, hold me closer so I can feel you. Hold me tighter, hold me tighter, hold me tighter, make me near you. I've got this loneliness in my soul, no direction, no place to go. Just an emptiness that I know has brought me right to the edge. I'm feeling reckless, reckless, I've been watching you all night, looking for a little sign, lining up my empties at this end of the bar. I just drank another down, you could buy another round, you could be the reason I take it too far. I've got this loneliness in my soul. No direction, no place to go. Just an emptiness that I know has brought me right to the edge. And one kiss is all that it will take to lead me to my next mistake. I know I'll regret it when I wake, but the heart is foolish when it aches. So take me in your fast car, we don't have to drive far, you don't have to talk, you don't have to stay. I'm not talking true love, just a little warm touch, just a little action till the night is gone away. Hey, I've got this loneliness in my soul. No direction, no place to go. Just an emptiness that I know has brought me right to the edge. I'm feeling reckless. So reckless, won't you come along? Hey, hey, won't you come along? That's not based on true events, but I have certainly felt that way. You just feel like you're down in a funk and you just want to go out and like drink till you're stupid and do things that you're gonna regret later. So that feeling is what inspired that song. Yes. There's a segment of each of our lives, perhaps, that's true. Since I got that little pattern, why don't I do "Here We Know," and then we'll do the open mic, and if I can, maybe I can sign my name up for a few songs at the end, but we'll do you first.
Yes.
You get a drink. All right. So this is a song that I wrote about Kansas. And it was inspired by, I used to work in a law firm, lots of different law firms in Kansas City, and one day I was out in the secretarial area. They had kind of these stations where there was a counter around them, and I heard one of the people there talk about how they were going to go on vacation, and how they had to drive all the way across Kansas because they were going to Colorado or somewhere else, and they were going to do it at night because it's so long and ugly and boring. And I remember thinking, there is beauty in the mountains and in the oceans, but I think there's a lot of beauty in wide open spaces. And so this song is about that. It's called "Here We Know." Here a constant quiet beauty rises from a tall grass floor. Low hills move, a body breathing under sky where less is more. Here we know the solid comfort that comes from living near the earth. There's nothing here to scrape the sky but blade of windmill, wing of bird. And you might think of our lives here as something less. You might say that all this space is emptiness. You don't see the countless ways our lives are blessed with solid roots, room to move, simple truth and happiness. You pass through on the interstate, your eyes set on another place. Ride the blacktop across the open plains, blind to beauty and blind to grace. Blind to blind to grace. Here night folds back its dark cover till every single star lies bare. And in the solemn peace of small town streets, we walk late and don't feel scared. And every sunrise brings a new light to field and fence and gravel road. We hold a harvest deep within us, long clean lines stretch through our bones. So if you feel that you have almost nothing left, if you need a quiet place to stop and rest, in between where you're going and where you've been, just bring your troubles and your crowded head. Let go your worries on the prairie wind. Build a new day from this limestone bed. Feel the strength you lost rise again. Feel the strength you lost rise again. Oh, in Kansas. I think that was my 15 minutes, so I'm going to put the guitar down and then I'll grab the list and we'll start the open mic portion. Actually, since without my glasses, I might. I was going to get them out of my purse, but I think if I hold it out here. So, first up at the microphone tonight is Curtis Becker, and he's going to read a poem for us, I believe.
Yes.
All right, Curtis Becker.
I wrote an introduction specifically for this evening, and I'll read that first and then I'll read my poem. You might ask, who am I? About this fact, I cannot lie. When I step up on this faux stage, confusion, me, I can't assuage. You already know, Kevin Rabus, I am not. This was in my first book, hope you bought. Tonight, I am here to tell another tale. Pay attention, and soon you will learn this detail. I am not Lisa Moritz. I've been promising Lisa I was going to write that poem for quite a while. My actual poem is called Piano, and it was inspired when we helped a friend move and we found a chicken bone in a piano. And it's got the, yes. Amy has one about this chicken bone as well. Yes. Pianos. Pianos should sing, but mostly they are forced to hum in the background, as violins screech, as clarinets honk, or when children forget the words to Frosty the Snowman. The first thing to know, if you are ever going to move a piano, is don't. My dad told me about pianos. One time, he'd moved a piano, or two, with his brother. The center of gravity of a piano is just right for something that shouldn't be lifted. Better to drop pianos from the sides of tall buildings, from a rope that may not be secure, in a cartoon, like an anvil, splat. People get mad if you scratch pianos, get them out of tune, or break a soundboard. It's easier to sacrifice a limb, or back, or friend. I once knew a magnificent piano that sang beautiful tunes. From the choir loft of the church, its voice echoed. The loft piano was grand, black as its ebony keys. You could see your face in its cover, and you imagined, for a moment, your face was the face of God, backlit by ornate architecture. Its voice was the voice of angels, ascending to on high with the prayers of the masses. The loft piano didn't move until the church closed. I wouldn't have moved it or dropped it. I would have left it until its regal red podium gave way, a throne halfway to heaven. The teeth of a chainsaw tore into the gleaming black skin, the keys disbanded, the voice died. These people knew that you never move a piano. Nobody bothered to clean the sawdust from the red carpeted platform. If you do move a piano, turn it on its side. Use a blanket to cut down on scars. Check for stray items like chicken bones, memories, songs, notes, a voice.
Nice, Curtis. That reminds me, we had this old upright in my house, the old upright piano, and when I took piano lessons while my older sister didn't, and at one point I took blue nail polish and wrote like C and the letters, middle C and up and down, and then I would write the letters on the music for her, and she really got to where she could even play double-handed just doing that. And so years later, when we were moving out of that house, my brother Bill had passed away years before. We noticed that on the top, he had taken that nail polish and written his name, B-I-L-L, in blue nail polish on the top of that big upright. And so it's kind of like, it reminded me how you find things when you have to move pianos, right? All right, so next on our up to the mic is Mark Clark. And are you going to read a couple poems?
Yes.
All right, come on up.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one is just an untitled, kind of discarded, never got given to Valentine. I wrote it about a month ago. She has hair down her back like it's a race to get to the floor. My hands follow the track, feeling her short neck, broad shoulders, soft breasts, lower, reaching the end of the strands and reaching further still, hands stalled over jean pockets surrounding her plump ass, squeezing our bodies close and meaning to kiss, to tell her what I love about her most. It's a tie. And the second one is called A State of Distress. I'm here, see me, feel me, allow me, welcome me. I scream, I whisper, I shout on 2 bright walls, on 3 AM posts, on tirades and pleas. I'm alive, I'm real, I mean it, it's me. I'm here. I reach out, I recoil, burn twice, I never learn. I reach again and find nothing but cold space and heated tempers. I raise my flag, colors proud, upside down. They can't tell. Blue, pink, white, pink, blue. I fly my colors even as they brand me. I am in the distress they cause me, and no one hears my call or sees the struggle at all.
Woo! Right. That was great. What a great opening line to that first poem about the hair being so long like it was a race to the floor. Love it. All right. Next up, we have Lindsay Bartlett. Are you reading some poems?
I am.
All right.
All right. Hello. So all of my poems that I'm going to be reading tonight, this will come as a surprise to, or not come as a surprise to some of you, are about my childhood and my childhood home. And as some of you know, aka Curtis, that I am in talks of having some of these published with photos through his Kellogg Press, so that's exciting. Anyway, so this is one of my more recent ones, the first one I'm going to start with, and it is called July 2017. From the road, I see what I already feel about my childhood home. Still, I wasn't prepared for this decay. For the weather-worn boards, stripped of their paint, screen door hanging ajar, hidden from view by an overgrown bush. The driveway that I once rode my bike around, where Dad pulled Nate and I on sleds, behind the riding mower, lies hidden under tall grass. My heart is in my throat as Dad stops the truck where the front gate used to be, now a gaping entrance marked only by limestone fence posts. Grass comes to my waist as I high-step through the yard, Doric columned porch pillars somehow still gleam white, incongruous to the dual-colored deterioration happening around them. Around the porch, only a screen separates the inside from outside elements. I go into a house, familiar but also alien. Dirt, dust, and detritus coat every surface. The green carpet I built Legos on is gone, removed by unknown hands. The kitchen has been repainted, blue instead of green. The curtains my mom made for the window still hang like mauve-colored ghosts from the past. I move carefully over dirty floors, littered with the remnants of someone else's life. At random, point my camera to document what my brain doesn't want to register, the lack of care and abandonment that swirls in the dirt at my feet. I regret not braving the stairs to make one last visit to my old bedroom. White plaster walls, mauve-painted window sills. I can see a younger version of me playing and imagining in that big room, perched in front of a full-length mirror as I practice fingerings on my clarinet. As we drive away, I keep looking back until I cannot see the peaked barn roof or the bladeless windmill in the yard. Somewhere on that old farmstead, a younger me straddles her blue bike, watches the dust from our truck recede before kicking off to ride once more around that gravel drive, no longer overgrown with grass. All right, my next one is titled Red Toyota Pickup. On weekends, I help Dad outside, loading fallen branches in the back of an old Toyota pickup, the seat scratchy on my skinny bare legs. To this day, I cannot hear the country countdown on the radio without being drawn back to rows of baby trees, still water tank, stopping every few feet to quench a young tree's thirst. Dad tried to teach me to drive, stick in that old red Toyota, barely tall enough to see over the wheel. I never mastered brake and clutch. He gave up after too many jolts towards the windshield. The Toyota would eventually give out, and we wouldn't stay long enough to watch the young evergreens we planted mature. Years would pass, those trees are now unruly, overgrown. The white topper to that Toyota still sits on the dusty floor of a granary, though it doesn't remember a girl helping her dad outside on the weekends. And last but not least is True Darkness. And this one is sort of about where I grew up, but it also is about living in a city and light pollution and never really being in true darkness. So the title of it is True Darkness. I remember the darkness, how it moved to cover everything, reaching out long tentacles as it outlined the old farmstead in black shapes. The night punctuated only by the eerie call of the barn owl, its wings cutting across the star-punched sky, and coyotes holding court, their mournful howls slipping across the inky night. In the city, it has been years since I have slept under true darkness. The nocturnal sounds of childhood is distant and fading as the years pass. Now a fan drowns out the whooshing of traffic, the blaring of sirens, and the loud voices of college students recently home from a night out. It's convenient to live here in a town with streetlights on each corner, everything I could need laid out before me on a city grid. However, there is something to be said for those nights of my childhood, communing with a darkness that is now more stranger than friend. Thank you.
You get that whole thing about the dark sky, yeah.
Yeah.
Once you've been out in the country and you see all those stars, it just doesn't match up later on. All right, next we have Michelle Zumbrum, who I think is reading someone else's poem.
Yes, but you're not saying it right. If you were Kevin, you'd say Michelle's Jubran. You can't ever read my handwriting.
Well, fortunately, I believe this was this your writing? This is your writing?
I printed this time.
You printed, it was so easy to
For
read.
Kevin, I think.
Michelle Zumbrum.
Yeah.
Hi, I have been given permission by our own Curtis Becker to read a poem, my favorite poem, out of He Watched and Took Note. So it is called My Childhood Teddy Bear. My childhood teddy bear now sits in a rocking chair, unassuming, his look austere. I feel bad about his matted hair. Is it love if it hurts you? I wonder aloud. He is stoic in his refusal to respond. Some of my friends ask why. Why do you keep that old bear? The one with the missing clump of hair, the one resting upon the rocking chair. Loyalty, friendship, insecurity, innocence lost. I used to care that you might find out about my bear, that old austere lump of hair slouching in the old rocking chair. That bear has a tattoo of grape jelly on his left ass cheek. That missing eye makes him look B.A. I should have found him a pirate patch. Mr. Bear, did Mike Tyson get a hold of your ear? Stoic. The survivor of my love slumps over the rail of my rocking chair. I do not see his pain. My 5-year-old eyes see a bear in good repair with nary a tear, and all of his hair. There's no despair. Thank you, Grandma, for giving me my teddy bear.
It's got some character, that teddy bear does. All right. The Library and Archives' own Rebecca Curry is up next.
Just try to keep it going. Now.
Takes so much love behind the camera.
You might be able to just do that.
Yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
So this poem was inspired by, I was reading a translation of a poem by the Polish writer Adam Zagajewski, and I noticed this one line that had this really interesting image, and I also noticed that while the poem overall was in free verse, this one line as translated would fit perfectly into a sonnet. So I borrowed it and made it the first line of this poem, which is called Emigre Summer. The city's towers rise like words of love. A liquid sun drops honey. On the air, something like lilac, blooming in a grove that memory imagined. You were there when maps had other colors. Here, the light falls on you strangely. This is not the sky you had a language for. Above, the flight of birds you cannot name. The noble lie of summer still surrounds you, but you keep the knowledge of what follows. twilight snow, the clouds where the forgotten gather sleep. You travel in that quiet world below, its constellations offering no chart, with no companion but the secret heart.
That's beautiful. Oh, that was a beautiful poem. So is there anyone else who wants, Emma, do you have anything you would like to share that you would like me to add you to the list? You don't have to, I'm just asking.
I do know, but I don't know because I don't want to.
Oh, okay. Well, perhaps you could share it with us after the program. So, that's all that we have on the list for this evening. I'm going to give the list back to our library personnel here. And I think rather than play one of the other songs, I like to oftentimes, when I used to do full gigs on my own, I always liked to end the night with a song that I wrote about my father and the things that he used to say about how to live your life. And rather than pick up the guitar, if it's okay with you, I will just sing it a cappella. So it's just as easier for me. And so my dad used to say a lot of kind of strange things like, buy shoes to fit your feet, not your head, which meant, you know, buy sensible shoes that you won't be limping in later on. Or he had 6 daughters, and if any of the cheerleading skirts or shorts were too short, he would say, sew a ruffle on it. Like, yeah, that'll look really good, Dad. So he would say lots of funny things like that. But then he also said a lot of things about how to live your life and how to treat other people. And so those are the things that I put in this song. It's called My Father's Words. When the world feels heavy, offer it up. There's more than plenty. Let me start that again. I'm singing the last verse of the song. When the world feels heavy, offer it up. Never see empty in a half-filled cup. Something will work out, it always does. Find joy in your labor. Be kind to your neighbor. Let no one be a stranger to your love, love, love. Share all your treasure, there is enough. Never take pleasure in another's bad luck. Leave everything better than the way that it was. And always be grateful, make room at the table. Every chance you're able, give your love, love, love. Keep your hands clean. Say what you mean. Say your prayers. Shine your plate, smile often, stand straight. And if the world feels heavy, offer it up. There's more than plenty in a half-filled cup. Yeah, something will work out, it always does. And just one more thing, all souls are deserving. Everyone is worthy of love.